Nobody's talking about it, but the Detroit Lions might be walking into 2025 with the most complete roster in football. While other teams are still figuring things out, Detroit is already locked in. Training camp hasn't even fully started yet, and there's already tension in the air. Pads haven't popped, but the message is clear. This team isn't coming back just to compete. They're coming back to finish something. After a 15-win season that ended in heartbreak, they didn't fall apart, they doubled down. And now, everything about this offseason feels different. Quieter, smarter, more dangerous. The Lions didn't chase headlines. They built quietly, they stacked the trenches, they retooled the secondary, they found depth in the draft. And now, they're loading up for another deep run. But the biggest reason this team might be scarier than ever? Their offense didn't just survive a coordinator change, it evolved. Jahmyr Gibbs is about to be unleashed in a way that defenses haven't seen before. The plan? Move him around, isolate him in space, and treat him like a hybrid weapon. He's not just a running back anymore, he's the chess piece. The moment he lines up wide and draws a linebacker, that's 6 points waiting to happen. But here's the twist most fans aren't ready for. The Lions' entire offensive identity only works if their quarterback can keep evolving with it. And that brings us to Jared Goff, quietly the biggest question and the biggest answer on this roster. Because while some still doubt him, the NFL's own coaches just gave him the kind of praise that flips the script completely. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Lions and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 350 likes on this video. Nobody expected Jared Goff to climb into the league's top tier, but now, he's officially there. NFL coaches and executives across the league, not connected to Detroit, ranked him as the 8th best quarterback in the game. No Lions bias, no PR spin, just raw respect. And it's not based on nostalgia or old playoff runs. It's because Goff just had one of the most quietly dominant seasons in the NFL. He threw for 4,629 yards, tossed 37 touchdowns, and kept his mistakes low with only 12 interceptions. His QBR? 68.4, good for 6th in the league. That's not a system guy, that's a surgeon. What's changed is his control. Goff isn't just managing games anymore, he's dissecting defenses. NFC coaches praised his ability to reset in the pocket and deliver under pressure. AFC coordinators highlighted his ball placement and composure. One coach called him one of the best pure passers in the league. That's a massive shift from the reputation he carried after leaving LA. And it's even bigger when you remember the Lions didn't build around a superstar QB, they helped him become one. His chemistry with Ben Johnson's system didn't just fix his game, it transformed it. But here's where it gets controversial. Despite the numbers, some evaluators still placed Baker Mayfield above Goff in those rankings. That's where fans start drawing lines. One has a Super Bowl appearance. The other had a comeback season. One is leading the most complete offense in Detroit's modern history. The other is still trying to prove he belongs long-term. So the question now isn't just how good Goff is, it's how far he can take this offense. And if Gibbs really is getting unleashed the way insiders are saying, Detroit's playbook is about to change in ways defenses aren't ready for. What nobody's ready for is how the Lions plan to use Jahmyr Gibbs this season. He's not staying in the backfield. He's splitting out wide, motioning into the slot, and running routes like a true weapon, not just a running back. Gibbs himself said he's lining up outside way more than before, and that should terrify defensive coordinators. Last year, he pulled in 52 receptions for 500 yards while barely scratching the surface of his route tree. Now he's learning wide receiver formations, and the Lions are clearly preparing to turn him into a matchup nightmare. This isn't just a wrinkle, it's a shift in identity. With David Montgomery handling the downhill work, Gibbs can be used as a chess piece. They've built enough backfield depth to support it too. Sione Vaki, heading into his second year, brings defensive toughness to the RB room and might carve out more snaps. Craig Reynolds is steady, reliable, and doesn't make mistakes. These pieces let Detroit do something most teams can't. They can move Gibbs wherever they want without weakening the rest of the offense. And when he's one-on-one with a linebacker in space, that's a mismatch Detroit will keep forcing. The most exciting part is what this means for Goff. More easy reads, more pre-snap movement, more high-percentage throws. The Lions' offense is building itself around flexibility, not predictability. And that's exactly what sets up the position battles in camp, because now, every spot on this roster has to match the standard the starters are setting. From wide receiver depth to tight end rotations to QB2, there are names fighting for roles who could decide how far this team really goes. The most dangerous part about this year's Lions roster isn't just the starters, it's how competitive the depth chart has become. Training camp isn't about filling holes anymore, it's about survival. At tight end, Sam Laporta and Brock Wright have their spots locked in, but that third slot is wide open. Kenny Yeboah brings the grit, the blocking, the dirty work. Shane Zylstra offers better hands, more polish as a pass catcher. It's a classic contrast: one moves chains, the other moves bodies. And the staff has to decide what this offense needs more in that third role. It gets even more intense on the defensive side. The interior defensive line is a crowd of question marks. Alim McNeill is still recovering and may not be back until mid-season. Levi Onwuzurike is playing on a prove-it deal after battling injuries. Broderick Martin is fighting to stay on the roster. Rookie Tyleik Williams has upside but needs more time. Meanwhile, DJ Reader has to anchor the group with consistency. If any cracks show, this could go from deep to fragile overnight. And that's not even touching edge 2, where Marcus Davenport looks like the favorite until you remember his injury history. But nothing draws more attention than the center position. Tate Ratledge, a second-round rookie, is trying to overtake veteran Graham Glasgow to replace Frank Ragnow. It's the most high-pressure battle in camp, and it's not even close. Glasgow is steady and reliable, but if Ratledge wins the job outright, it changes everything. It means Detroit found a long-term anchor on day 1, and it means this offense gets a chance to build rhythm and chemistry before week 1. But the catch? Ratledge still hasn't signed, and that's where things start to get complicated. If there's one thing that could define this entire season for Detroit, it's health on defense. On paper, this unit looks better than it's looked in years. Aiden Hutchinson is healthy and entering year 3 as one of the league's most disruptive edge players. DJ Reader gives them a true veteran anchor on the interior, while Alim McNeill, once fully recovered, rounds out what could be a dominant defensive front. But potential doesn't mean production if these guys can't stay on the field. And last season proved how quickly things can unravel when the second string is forced into full-time duty. In the secondary, there's more raw talent than ever before. Brian Branch has become the X factor. Coaches love his ability to line up anywhere: slot, box, deep safety. He gives Detroit the flexibility to go man or zone without changing personnel. Opposite him, Kirby Joseph provides the ball-hawking instincts. And if second-year corners like Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw continue to develop, this group could finally shake off the label of being a liability. Don't forget about Amik Robertson and DJ Reed, who add proven experience to a cornerback room that suddenly looks deep instead of desperate. For months now, national outlets have been circling the same narrative. Bleacher Report called the Lions one of the offseason's losers. The Athletic predicted a step back in 2025. And the reasoning? Coordinator turnover, offensive line concerns, and questions about staying power. Ben Johnson took a head coaching job. Aaron Glenn moved on. Frank Ragnow retired. Kevin Zeitler walked. On paper, it all sounds like regression is inevitable. But what those reports keep missing is what actually makes Detroit dangerous. This isn't a team held together by one coordinator or one lineman. This is a roster that's been built to withstand change and keep climbing. The core remains intact. Jared Goff just entered the prime of his career. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, and Sam Laporta give him one of the most complete pass-catching groups in the league. David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs complement each other perfectly. Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker are still anchoring the edges. And on defense, Aiden Hutchinson is healthy, Branch is becoming a breakout star, and the secondary is deeper than it's been in a decade. Critics are locked in on what's gone. But Lions fans know the truth. This team isn't slipping, they're sharpening. So now the question flips. Are the media setting themselves up for another shocker like last season? Or is there something we're missing? Let's hear it in the comments. Do you think Detroit will finish even stronger in 2025? Or will the changes finally catch up to them? Is Jared Goff the quarterback who can lead this group to a Super Bowl? And what's your take on the Tate Ratledge situation? Are you confident he'll get locked in before preseason hits? Drop your thoughts below. And if you're ready for more Lions breakdowns, stay tuned. The Hall of Fame game preview is coming next.